it's time for us to get into another very important conversation. And I'm sure some of you have been wondering, why every time you go and fill your gas bottle, it looks as if the prices are going higher and higher. Well, before we get into that conversation, I want to say a big happy birthday.
Yes, we want to say a very big happy birthday to Eno.
Yes,
Eno of
to Eno,
Citi
who's
TV.
right with us here. Eno, happy birthday to you, as well as Nene. Yes, happy birthday to both of you as well. Well, let's get right into that conversation this morning. And there's some stories I want to just delve into briefly on citinewsroom.com. And we'll just look at a few headlines. LPG marketers slam government over new taxes. LPG marketers slam government over new taxes. We have another headline here. This one says, LPG consumption drops by 4.47%. This is coming from the IES, and that's the Institute for Energy Security. All right, and let me quickly read a couple of paragraphs here. It says the Institute for Energy Security has disclosed that a decrease of around 4.47% in liquefied petroleum gas usage between January 2020 and December 2023, in contrast to the growth of about 6.43% in the preceding 4 years. All right, so that was spanning between January 2016 to January 2019. So this is very interesting. So 2016 to 2019, we saw a growth of about 6.43%. But from 2020 to 2023, there's a decrease in the usage.
Right.
Okay, this is very instructive, right? And a couple more headlines here. Let me just take a look at this one. The earlier one that I mentioned, it says here, okay, we have one here. It says here, we introduced margins on LPG, not a tax. Now, I find that interesting. Whatever it is that was introduced cost the end user. So whether it's a margin, it's a levy, or a tax, I think for me, the end user is the most important person, and it's quite irrelevant whatever it is that the introduction is. Right. But let's be introduced to you, our guest in the studio this morning. We'll get right into the conversation. So Gabi Kumi has joined us. He's the vice chairman of the LPG Marketers Association of Ghana. Now, Gabi, you're welcome.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Good
to be here. You have a wonderful studio.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Now, you've been bashing the government for the new taxes that have been added. The MPA, on the other hand, is saying, no, it's not about new taxes that have been added. It's just margins. Now, is it a matter of semantics? Are you not being too hard on the government? Walk us through what's going on here.
We are rather being too soft on government because it doesn't make sense to put taxes on LPG in the first place. Because this is a product in 2019. His Excellency the President and his cabinet set a target to increase consumption. As at 2019, we were at 25% penetration level. Cabinet came out with a decision that within the next 10 years, we should increase LPG consumption and penetration to 50% by the year 2030. Immediately, we praised government for that because we thought that would grow the LPG industry. That will enable a lot of people to use LPG so we can protect the environment, we can save our rivers, and we can save Mother Ghana. But one thing we identified immediately was the fact that the price of the product was shooting up too high. So it was gradually pushing consumers from consuming it. Between 2006 and 2017, LPG consumption in Ghana was growing at an average rate of 16.16%. At the initial stages, we were indeed subsidizing the LPG. When government introduced LPG in the 70s and the 80s, there were huge subsidies on the LPG. We paid subsidy to the tune of about 50% before in this country. So we subsidized to around 2012, 2011. that the consumption was really picking. So the subsidy amount was becoming too huge for government.
Right.
So government said he could no longer find money to subsidize the product. So government took the subsidy off.
Away.
And then we went full cost recovery. So we did that till about 2015, when crude oil price dropped so low. And because we get LPG from crude oil,
Yes.
the byproducts price also became very low. So LPG price at the time went very, very, very low. That is when the then government took advantage of the low LPG price and heaped a lot of taxes on the product. So going forward, 2016, 2017, 2018, we saw that the growth in consumption was slowing down till about 2018, 2019. Indeed, we hit the peak of our consumption in 2020, 2021.
Okay.
That was when we consumed the highest quantity of LPG in Ghana. After that, the product consumption started taking a nosedive. Now, if you look at the statistics, like you rightly indicated, between 2016 to 2020, we were still growing. But after 2020 to present, consumption has taken a dip. And the only reason attributed to this decline is the fact that the product price has gone too high. So the ordinary Ghanaian is no longer able to afford. So we've been calling on government to consider removing taxes from LPG. Because like I said, it doesn't make sense that the product, a mass product like LPG, that you have put a target on of all the petroleum products in Ghana, Cabinet singled out LPG and said, guys, let us increase consumption of LPG from 25% penetration to 50% in 10 years. That's a huge statement. That target wasn't set by Ministry of Energy. It wasn't set by MPA. It was set by Cabinet, the highest decision-making body in Ghana. So that is a very huge statement. Now, you can't eat your cake and have it. LPG is not a luxury product that when you want to increase consumption, you keep pushing taxes and margins and levies on it to make it expensive so the rich can buy. No, it's a mass product. It's a product for the ordinary Ghanaian.
Okay.
So when you're dealing with such a product, the only way you can engender consumption is to take measures to reduce prices. So you can attract a lot more people into your consumption net. So your own objective, government objective, could be achieved. But we see MPA and the ministry acting contrary to government objective. You can't set such a target and at the same time you keep increasing the price of the product through taxation. So we have consistently and persistently been calling on government. If you check us for the past 5-6 years, we have written letters, had engagement with the ministry, the MPA, that the taxes on LPG must go. Because this is a product that your neighboring country like Cote d'Ivoire is subsidizing. Okay, when I spoke to my colleague in La Cote d'Ivoire, when this new MPA gets so angry when I say taxes, but whatever it is, when those new things came on, and he was shocked, and he said, look, indeed, beginning of this year, we wrote to our government to increase subsidy on LPG, and government is considering that. So what are we doing directly opposite in Ghana? And yet we stand on platform and brag that we are working at increasing consumption of LPG in Ghana. So what really broke the camel's back is that on 1st of April, we woke up and received a letter from our regulator that they are introducing a new $80 per metric ton on LPG. We said, even those ones on it, we are fighting that this should be taken off. Why are you introducing a new thing on the price build-up? So when we checked, MPA came out to say that it's not a tax, but it's a margin. Now, the it doesn't matter what it is. The word that we have seen is that there is something on the price that has shot up the pump price of the product. So we went back asking, and then they came to say that those are margins for bottling plants that they are going to use to do cylinder recirculation. We have no problem if you want to give a margin to the bottling plant, but that margin must not be collected by a regulator. Like everybody else, I'm sure when you were putting up this building, NCA did not create an account and collect money from all Ghanaians and put it in that account and say that Citi is building a new facility. So when we are going to use that fund to support Citi TV, that's not what is done. If our brothers who have built the plant, let them start producing the LPG, let them start producing the bottles, let's put the margins on those bottles, let them work and earn that margin.
Yes.
But you don't set a fund aside
Yes.
and say, let's put money in that fund. What is even making the thing so annoying is the fact that the 3 bottling plants we are talking about, none of them has started operation. None of them have even produced 1 cylinder.
Wait,
in
September
Ghana.
2023, the cylinder recirculation model was supposed to have begun. They've not begun.
You are a media person, and I guess you are confusing. You are confused as any other Ghanaian. Cylinder recirculation for the past 7 years, the government have been making attempts to introduce cylinder. It's not working because of the mindset like this. Bottling plant, which is now under construction, you've already set
A fund.
Fund for it.
and this is not a plant which is being built by government. It's being built by individual companies. So why do you set a fund and collect money into that fund and want to use it to support a private business? We have no problem. We have no problem with government policy. If they want to go with cylinder recirculation, we believe in that every government governs through the implementations of policies and programs. If your policies are good, are in sync with the people, 4 years they vote you in. If it's not in sync with the people, they vote you out.
All right, so what do you think are actually like the long-term implications or the continuous price fluctuations and, you know?
It's obvious. What is happening is that now people have stopped using LPG. As I said, LPG consumption started declining in 2021. Indeed, in 2022, we went down by 12% in consumption. That's huge. Oh, look, we must
So that
eat.
means a lot are going back to using charcoal.
Charcoal, obviously. Look, I was in the north 2 weeks ago. If you start from Edra to Nkranza to Kintampo to Bupe to Tamale, if you are somebody who really thinks about Ghana and thinks about our environment, you cry.
What do you see?
Every village that you get to, heaps of charcoal piled up, ready for trucks to be cut to the south.
Wow.
It's serious. I'll challenge your media house to do a documentary on the charcoal industry in Ghana. Our association will sponsor that. And let's come and show that to Ghanaians. But look, it's about building Ghana. It's about building a nation. This is nothing. This has nothing to do with politics. We should put politics aside. The taxes on LPG have been was started by NDC government in 2015, and MPP has come and they are still continuing. How do you put a margin on a product like LPG at this time? 1 LPG now is 1 kilo of LPG now is costing the consumer 16 Ghana cedis. Ghana's LPG price is one of the highest in the world. The whole world. Most countries are buying LPG under $1. But in Ghana, we are doing $1.20. How come a poor country like Ghana? The introduction of LPG was to help save our environment.
Right.
The little forest that Ghana's forest has been described as one of the fastest depleting in West Africa. The little forest that we have allowed Galamsey. NDC could not stop Galamsey. MPP has not been able to stop Galamsey. If we can't use state force to stop an illegality, then what can we do? The little that is left, the only product we can use to save the little that is left is LPG. And look at the way we are handling the product.
Gabby, thank you very much for coming through. We will definitely have to continue this conversation another day. We appreciate your time. Gabby Kumi is vice chairman for the
I can't wait to come again. We need 1 full hour. If we need to sponsor that, invite MPA, invite ministries. We want all of us to meet here.
That.
And we
do that. Even if we need to pay, we'll pay.
All right. Okay.
So that we discuss LPG.
All right. So, Vice Chairman of LPG Marketers Association, that's Gabby Kumi. Thank you very much for watching Breakfast Daily. My name is David Kweku Sechi.
And my name is Chris Carter. I see you tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. right here on Citi TV.